Beppu. This is my hometown. Our nature is beautiful, but that is true of everywhere in the world. But we have one resource that makes us unique. Today I will tell you about that resource and share Beppu's story. 2.6 million years ago, the island, which is now Kyushu in southern Japan, split, giving rise to a corridor of volcanoes. Spread below the spectacular Tsurumi Range is the city of Beppu, lying in a fan-shaped arc along the shores of Beppu Bay. Comprised of just 125 square kilometers, Beppu contains nearly 2,300 hot springs. In Beppu, hot springs are everywhere, even in the backyards of ordinary citizens. We have the luxury of bathing in natural hot spring water every day. Where did this all start? The origin of hot springs goes all the way back to the birth of the Earth, 4.6 billion years ago. Elements that eventually formed water on our planet were brought in by meteorites. These meteorites traveled at a speed of 20 kilometers per second, and the energy that was released during their collision with the Earth melted them and added to the heat of our planet. The Earth's surface has cooled since then, but heat remains inside and is further maintained by radioactive decay underneath the crust. Heat escapes by conduction and fluid flow through cracks in the crust, and hot springs are a natural gift born of this geothermal activity. The island of Kyushu is still geologically active today. It expands about 1 centimeter per year. This causes fractures or faults in the land, and these faults are the crucial pathway to hot springs. Beppu has 2 fault lines running along its edges, and the 8 hot spring zones in Beppu are found along these fault lines. The exposed faults are 15 to 20 meters tall in the Harita hot spring zone, and they are visible alongside the cold waterfalls you see when enjoying a hot spring bath here. The faults are one of the reasons that Beppu is the largest producer of hot spring water in Japan, with a gross volume of 80,000 liters gushing out per minute. Beppu also holds the record for the highest average spring temperature. Many of the springs reach as high as 90 to 100 degrees Celsius. The variety of eye-pleasing textures and colors of the springs also adds to the excitement when one explores the city. So how does this happen? Scientists discovered that the Philippine sea plate subducts under the Eurasian plate, sucking seawater and sediments down and putting them under extreme pressure. About 100 kilometers beneath Kyushu, water escapes from the descending crust and creates the conditions for hot mantle rocks to melt into magma, which then rises. This magma heats up a reserve of natural water that lies beneath the Tsurumi mountain range. This reservoir is constantly replenished by rain and is the lifeblood of Beppu's hot springs. Every raindrop that makes its way into the reservoir undergoes a 50-year journey before it gushes out into a hot spring. Along this journey, it comes into contact with volcanic gases rich in minerals and absorbs these minerals to form a variety of spring types. When soaking in your favorite hot spring baths, imagine the water when it first fell as rain and enjoy its 50 years of perfection. In the late 19th century, local people began to use the Kazusabori digging technique to reveal additional hot springs. Once considered a health therapy solely for the elite, hot spring bathing now became a luxury, available to commoners as well. Beppu began to welcome an increasing number of visitors. The construction of a ferry port in 1871 opened Beppu to a new flow of visitors from Osaka, and also marks the point when Beppu evolved into a popular tourist destination. Today, guests continue to flock to Beppu from far and wide to experience the age-old tradition of communal bathing. The use of hot springs in Beppu has also grown beyond just bathing. Today, hot spring water is used for everything, from beauty products made from harvested hot spring minerals to heated botanical gardens, geothermal power generation, and even premium dining. If your journey should lead you to Beppu, you will encounter a wide array of delights to indulge your senses. You will have thousands of hot spring facilities, all offering unique bathing experiences to choose among, as well as many other related adventures beckoning you. Beppu's hot spring culture is unique and vibrant, and your challenge is to experience it all.